Hello and welcome to my birthday books +2 video. And yes, I am a nightmare before coffee, and part of the reason I have this on today is, that's right, Noah, after this video, I'm going to use my tools on some other books. But more about that in a future video. And yes, I do have little Gina, you can see her there at my other work desk. So if you hear some snoring, it's not me, it's Zena. So I was super happy this year, as not only did I get to celebrate my birthday on the actual day during a live stream, but I also got to celebrate it with my friends Ven and Dee Dee, two other Capricorns. Many thanks to everyone who stopped by to wish us happy birthday and joined in on the conversation. That was awesome. I also received some moolah from the hubby, and that was perfect because that meant options. And I decided to head over to Amazon and check out some authors that I've been lucky to meet through the BookTube community. One of the books that I purchased, book 1 of Remnants. This is The Keening by Margaret Pinard. Looking forward to this read. I will be having Margaret on my live stream in February, so I need to get this finished, and we'll be chatting about this story as well as her other books. In the description box down below, I will have a link to Margaret's channel. You can find The Keening and her other works on Amazon. I'll also leave a link down to the live stream that Margaret did with Leslie from Books, Gers, and Purrs, where they chatted about different books Margaret had published as well, along with her process of writing. Another book that I purchased, and this one's kind of obvious because, hello, dragon. This is Talindor's Guest by Charles McGarry. I will have a link to Chaz's channel down below, Bookish Chaz. Love his channel. Of course, he has a dragon, even in the background of his videos. I'm very much looking forward to the read of this work, and Charles will be joining me in March when we will be chatting about Talindor's Guest as well as his other published work. And you can also find Charles on Amazon. The next book, which is actually what gave me the idea to start checking some of the authors out that I've met, was a post from Nicole's Bookish Nook. That is Nicole Brona's channel. Hope I've pronounced your last name right, Nicole. Her book is Obsidian Murders, Midnight Detective Agency. Sounds fascinating. On the back, we have a journalist who's kind of weird, a 500-year-old vampiric detective, 2 young women dead from an unknown magical source. Definitely my type of read. I'm looking forward to chatting with Nicole in possibly April or May, depending on how her schedule works out. Definitely looking forward to the read. Link down below to Nicole's channel, Nicole's Bookish Nook. Be sure to head over to all of the folks I mentioned, check out their channels, check out the links for their works. The other 2 books that I purchased are by an author who I am fortunate to have been able to chat with on the phone, as well as enjoy a live stream with. I'll leave a link to our previous live stream down below. Richard Palmisano is not a booktuber, but he is a paranormal investigator with over 45 years of experience. He began his group at the age of 18, the Searcher Group, I'll leave a link down to his website below. I've done a video about his other work, Journeys into the Unknown, a book I very much enjoyed and we chatted about during the live stream. I should also mention that Richard investigates in Ontario, Canada. This book, Overshadows, an investigation into a terrifying modern Canadian haunting. I finished it yesterday. It was an excellent read. I enjoyed it as much as his other book. And I found out that Overshadows is his first book. So that was rather neat. On the back, it tells us Richard Palmisano has investigated the paranormal for most of his life. He's by trade a security specialist and criminal investigator with 21 years in the field. Obviously more now because this book was published in 2003. I also picked up Meeting Place of the Dead, A True Haunting. Now, the reason I very much enjoy Richard's work is he doesn't just pop into a place once and call that an investigation, which it isn't, folks. I'm sorry. In the story in Overshadows, the location that he talks about was a 6-year investigation, and the location isn't revealed at the request of the property owner. Makes it a little bit difficult to describe some of the things, but Richard did a great job of doing that, and I can certainly appreciate why someone wouldn't want their specific address or location identified. If you've watched some of the paranormal videos, or more specifically, the issues with certain locations and people who don't respect personal property, you probably understand why someone doesn't want their address given out. Meeting Place of the Dead is another investigation that Richard and his team did. On the back, it mentions he's the founder of the Searcher Group, whose members include, and I'll show the picture in a minute, Paul Palmisano, James McCulloch, Victoria Jamie, Richard Palmisano, and Peter Rowe. So yes, Richard does investigate with his brother as well as other members of the team, which I think is great. It's like a family business. If you watch a certain show, you'll know what that's referring to. I'm very much looking forward to this read. I have no doubt it will be as interesting and thought-provoking as Overshadows. And I enjoy that not only does Richard talk about his investigations, how to do them effectively, and a number of other factors, but he also has theories and talks about that as well in his books. And of course, they change over time, as any theory should, based on new discoveries and new experiments. I'm very much looking forward to having Richard back on during a live stream to chat about these two books. As I mentioned, I have a link down to his website below. You can also find Richard's work on Amazon, and he does have a new book coming out, I believe it's this year, and published by Lwellelyn, which is a publisher that I enjoy. I have a number of their books. These two were published by Dundurn. That's also a publishing company that I've enjoyed checking out, and I'll talk more about them in a future video. Those were free to me because that was my birthday money, and very much enjoyed doing that shop. Yes, I do still shop at the thrift store, and I have gift cards for there, so I'll be heading there in a little while, but I'm starting to work through the reading I've accumulated. Now, the +2 came up after my live stream with Gareth, and yes, I did feel bad that I was advertising all these other books. I had an author with me and didn't mention his book. So yeah, sometimes I do stupid things. I did apologize to Gareth. And if you don't know who Gareth is, I have a link to his channel, Books, Songs, and Other Magic. Gareth is an author, musician, teacher, busy guy. So I'm so glad that he had the time to come and chat with me. I was kind of in the zone of, I really wanted him on so that we could talk about this concept of trigger warnings with books and the experience of an average reader like myself, because I'm not a writer, but Gareth is a published author, and I'll talk about his books. And does that make a difference with the reading experience? And in particular, we were looking at Stephen King, Mr. Mercedes, and Finders Keepers. It was an interesting discussion I very much enjoyed. As always with my live streams, we covered so many other things as well. The books that I got after our live stream, the first is The Brown Yelp Gang, and this is by Gareth. It follows a rock group with a number of different adventures and things they have to work through. I'm just a little bit into it, and I'm very much enjoying it. As I started reading it, it reminds me of the interviews that I've seen on YouTube with different rock groups and the questions and how that plays out. Very much enjoying the read, looking forward to finding out what else happens. This cover makes me think of Star Wars. If you're a Star Wars fan, you'll know some of the images that this may be reminding me of in the different bar scenes. So I'm liking that, as yes, I am both a Star Trek and Star Wars fan. And there's one character in here as well who reminds me of Farscape. Not sure if that's what Gareth was thinking about when he wrote her, but I'll find out and see if there are any other similarities as I go through. The other book that I picked up, and this was Gareth's recommendation, is 10 Tales of Transformation. So this, and sadly, Amazon bent the cover. But this is a neat cover, and it's a collection of short stories. On the back it says, here are 10 short stories that explore different definitions of the word transformation. Some are very serious and some are completely absurd. All stories were written with a humble nod to writers like Robert Sheckley and Harry Harrison. I'm looking forward to this. This is published in 2018, and the Brown Yelp Gang actually is mentioned in one of these stories, but I started with the Brown Yelp Gang first. I'm looking forward to having Gareth on one of my live streams, this time to talk specifically about his books, and that will be much later in the year because, as I say, he's a super busy guy and hosts his own live streams as well, along with Dave and Olive from Book Blather. See, Dave? Gave you a nod, dude. And I'll have links to those channels down below as well. So that was my birthday +2 collection. And if you've seen my 2025 video plan for reading and programs, I already had a full plate along with all the beefcake books that tie into that. And now I have a number of other books that I'll be fitting into the reading. But I have to say, I'm very excited to get there. I've got lots on the go, and I'm always happiest when I'm busy, and this is definitely a year to stay busy. Let me know if you've read any of these authors down below. Please make sure to go check out all their channels, show them some love, and until next time, happy reading.